Hey everyone, I'm Brendan Quinn here at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana, following Michigan State's 82-75 loss to the Hoosiers. I think this is a game that kind of shows the perfect example of when you are reliant upon a number of freshmen and your upperclassmen are challenged significantly by inconsistency. That is when you get a team that can look completely different from half to half, and that is what happened today. But first and foremost, Indiana was pretty fantastic. This is a team I think riding a lot of energy off of losing one of its own and OG's injury, and kind of feeding off of that win one for the Gipper type of spirit. But James Blackman was he was pretty nasty inside and out. Michigan State had no answer for him defensively, and that was where the first half got away from him. And in the second half, just by playing with a lot of confidence and defending and finding better looks and attacking and being more aggressive on both ends, it was 36-10 run essentially, and it just wasn't enough. The hole was just too deep. When if you're going to break down the play of those freshmen, start with Miles Bridges, where trying to get going. And for a while now, we've heard about Tom Izzo and the coaches trying to install more and more into the offense to get him better looks, be it off of a ball screen or off of a dribble drive or off of a post play or whatever it may be. Didn't really see it. Whatever was installed today, Indiana threw some doubles at Miles. He was the focal point of the defense all day, and none of that ever worked out for Michigan State. They just could not buy him a clean look throughout most of the game. And that's a killer. That's a killer at this point for this team. It's just to come on the road in the Big Ten and have a potential lottery pick get basically locked down for most of the game. I think he finished with like 13 points or so. This team just doesn't have a high enough ceiling without Miles Bridges. To only lose by 7 with that performance, A, speaks to how well Aaron Harris played, and B, to I think Indiana kind of just went through some very expected lulls in the second half. They have their own issues, but they were pretty darn good tonight. So the key, as it has been for so much of the year, is going to be just finding some kind of middle ground between the freshmen's bottom and its top level play. I don't know when that's coming, and it's going to be really difficult to get to because so much of it starts defensively. And Tom Izzo was kind of beside himself in the post-game press conference talking about that first half defense. They didn't guard anybody. They didn't guard anybody on drives to the basket. They didn't guard anybody off of screens. They didn't step out on shooters. They didn't defend the post, and they got chewed up, and they had to pay for it. Excuse me. And that's going to be it. It's just going to be in the hands of the freshmen here for a while. The good side is, in the second half, most of that run came with those 4 freshmen on the floor, and they looked really confident and they looked really good, and they didn't quit. And that's something that I think these guys can build on. But at the same time, that first half also came with those 4 freshmen on the floor for some of those periods of time. So it's another day and more questions, I'd say, for this team. But it doesn't get any easier. Tuesday night, Michigan State hosts Purdue. It will be a tough one. It will be a tough one, and from there, you get into a rivalry game with Michigan. So we'll see what happens. But for now, from Assembly Hall, I'm Brendan Quinn. Thanks for watching.